the storm has ceased to be just distant warnings and has truly made landfall with a devastating force on the international stage, clearly demonstrating that we are entering a critical phase of total war where dark forces are pouring all their resources into a final gamble. If we look from west to east in the direction of the Earth's rotation, we will see a spreading fire, starting from the most intense epicenter in the United States, where shadowy manipulators are frantically activating the last destructive switches to prevent the return of order and justice. We are witnessing an unprecedented internal economic war, where inflation and supply chain disruptions are not random, but calculated punishments aimed directly at the middle class, which is the backbone of the nation and the main support for the conservative side. Bureaucratic administrative decisions are deliberately tying the hands of new leaders, creating a chaotic picture to prove that populism is a failure. But it is precisely in this dark moment that the mask of the faux elite has fallen, helping the people realize that the enemy is not only across the ocean, but is present within the halls of power, turning the process of purging the system into a painful but necessary surgery to save the nation's life. This wave of shock continues to spread rapidly across the Atlantic to Europe, which is considered the weakest link in the current Western world as the old continent groans under the weight of decades of reckless open border policies. From London to Paris and even Berlin, protests are no longer merely demands for economic rights, but a struggle for cultural survival as locals awaken to the threat of replacement and the encroachment of foreign values that directly conflict with Christian foundations. The death knell for the rootless multicultural dream has sounded, causing leftist governments to tremble violently between suppressing their own people or acknowledging the comprehensive failure of extreme liberalism. As our gaze shifts to the Middle East, the religious front is hotter than ever, as extremist forces exploit America's distraction to accelerate dangerous weapons programs and incite proxy groups to besiege democratic allies. This is not merely a territorial dispute, but an effort to eradicate the presence of liberal values in this region, and if this stronghold collapses, the wave of chaos will have no barriers to flood into the Mediterranean and drown Europe in crisis. Simultaneously, in the Far East, a counterbalancing alliance is tightening its grip, taking advantage of the power vacuum to shift from gray zone tactics to more direct military threats in strategic waters, combined with open cooperation among northern military powers to directly challenge the superpower status of the United States. In summary, from the covert economic sabotage, social chaos in Europe, to the gunfire in the Middle East and military threats in Asia, all are not coincidental, but a coordinated effort to stretch the forces of good to the breaking point. The world is no longer in a pre-war phase, but has entered a decisive moment, yet it is precisely in this boiling context that polarization helps the truth to emerge most clearly, forcing humanity to choose sides with no room for neutrality. History has shown that when evil fully reveals itself, it is at its weakest because it has lost its most potent weapon, deception, and now the battle will be determined by the will, faith, and courage of those who dare to stand up to protect the light before the true dawn returns.